Hello Dota fans and welcome to Breakdown. I'm your host Bonsai and today we'll be taking a look at MVP Phoenix. MVP produced a successful 2016 campaign, during which they became the first Korean team to win a large international LAN, defeating Evil Geniuses at Dota Pit. They would go on to place 5th, 6th at both the Manila Major and the International to finish out the year. Unfortunately, MVP lost their offlane 4-Ev and their 1-2 flex MP to Team Secret. To complete the roster, MVP has moved Febby from the 4 position to the safe lane and brought in former MVP Hot 6 members Ryzen as the 4 position and Velo, who takes over the offlane. To help understand the new MVP, I asked someone who's gone up against them and come out victorious. Fanatics TI analyst, Kips. How's it going, Kips?
Hi man, I'm doing great, thank you. So, MVP, right? I have the luxury of knowing that MVP has already played some matches with his new roster, which is great. Because a lot of the other teams haven't played yet, but MVP have played MVGL's SCA, where they came out second against Execration. So I've really been able to compare their playstyle here and in TI from when we played them. And it's interesting to see that they are trying their old playstyle, because Dubu stayed, which means that their warding and their general movement is still the same. But they have some new players they need to make it work with, and the Febby position switch is also kind of awkward, so they don't quite seem to mesh yet, which is a shame actually. So they were a really strong team, and now I'm not sure if they will go so far.
And so do you think that this is kind of an opportunity for them to come together as a team, or do you see it as something else for them where, you know, they're just going to see if this strategy works and then decide from there, or do you think they're just going to try and stick with this all the way through and probably not change?
It depends on what they want, really. What's going on right now is they have a really set role distribution. So Febby went to first position and he plays mostly right clickers actually. Really simple right clicking carry heroes, so Drow, Luna, Weaver, Lifestealer, that sort of thing. And one of the two supports is going to be on lane with him. It might be Ryzen, who plays Warlock in that case. That's like literally, if Ryzen plays Warlock, he is on lane with Febby. If he's anything else, he's roaming. And so Dubu, when he usually he will be the lane support, unless Ryzen plays Warlock, and then he's the roaming support. Now, because Velo, their new 3, right? He is not a very experienced player yet. MVP Hot 6 made it to TI 5 actually, but neither Velo or Ryzen was on that team. So they, in spite of the name of the team, they actually have none of the experience, and it means that especially Velo seems really weak right now. So they often actually shift him to the safe lane in a lane swap, and then put Febby on the off lane. Now, where leaves that, like, where does the entire team end up? It ends up depending on QO. And as we saw in TI, QO does great if he gets a really aggressive murdering hero like TA, like PA. Great stuff. But right now, because Febby is not actually farming that much, being on the offlane sometimes, he usually plays the farming heroes, so Tinker, Ember, Naga, Alchemist. And it really all depends on whether he does well or not.
So what would you say are the 3 things that MVP Phoenix has going for them going into this event? What are about 3 reasons that you think that they will do well here? And just kind of why?
Well, one of the things they can still do is pressure. They still play incredibly fast. They had pretty much only 20 and early 30-minute games in MPGL. But the thing is, they seem, most of those games are on Dire. They are really strong on Dire right now. So if they get Dire all the way, it's good. It's fine, they can do it with this lineup. And last but not least, well, I gotta say QO. QO can always get out of control.
So do you think other teams are going to let them have that dire pick, or do you think other teams are going to be prioritizing that against them to just sort of prevent their playstyle?
Depends on the team. If a team says it's more important that we feel comfortable, and they feel comfortable on Radiant, they'll get Radiant. If a team feels it's more important to get first pick, they'll let MVP have the dire. So it depends, really.
All right, so what do you think are the reasons why they might not succeed in this event? Are there, I mean, you mentioned already that they're not quite adapted to the new play style with the new roster, and that could definitely hurt them, but what do you see as like their biggest challenges that they're going to need to overcome in this tournament, and how are they going to do it, if you have any idea?
Well, one of the big challenges is going to be, and that goes for a lot of teams actually, is that they have two new players that will be up in front of a big stage for the first time. So they're gonna be nervous. On the other hand, if they acknowledge that and say, this is your first time, just do whatever you feel is good, they might actually feel empowered by that and just go, well, we don't care, we're just gonna play to win and we'll see where we end up. If they manage to channel that, it can actually be really powerful.
All right, so what do you kind of see as like the one sort of X factor, or the really biggest thing that they're going to hinge upon to do well here, where, if it goes well for them, they're going to do great. They're, going to get top 4. If it doesn't go well, then they're just in trouble and they're going to struggle throughout the tournament.
For me, there's two things. One of them is, will other teams figure out their warding pattern? And I know it's doable because I did it. So the question is, will teams that play them know why MVP wards how they do? Because if you know how they ward, you can just pull their vision and their knowledge from underneath them. And the other one is, for me, I already mentioned this, is can they get their Radiant play straight?
All right, so what do you think they're kind of aiming for in this event? What would be considered a good finish for them, and what do you think they would be disappointed by if they came in under 5th, 6th or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's about it. I think if they go out 7th, 8th, they will be disappointed, because that's not really where MVP ends usually. 6th, 5th is okay, we were here, we're not the worst, it's good, this is a start. And anything above that, I would be surprised, actually. But if they just give the least amount of fucks, they might be able to do it.
All right. Do you have any last words for us on this that you want to give us, to just anything else that we forgot so far?
Not really anything we forgot, but a funny little tidbit. It's because Febby likes to play Drow as a carry. It means that we've seen them play Visage mid a couple of times. So I hope they're going to take that one out again. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so we're going to look out for that Visage pick and see if they can just kind of make people a little bit miserable with that quick Drow push strat with the Visage. All right, well, thank you for joining me, Kips. And where can people find you on social media?
They can find me at Kipspul, as at Kips and then PUL on Twitter. And the same name also goes for Instagram, and if you want to talk to me personally, you can email me. I love having conversations about stats and stuff, so those are the places where you can get in touch with me.
All right, thank you so much for coming on, Kips. Catch you later.
Thank you for having me.
An extra special thanks to Kips for joining me and carrying me through this show. Let's go ahead and review. MVP is still very good at applying pressure, currently play very well on the dire side, and QO can always steal them a game. On the other hand, their lack of experience, possible synergy issues, and laning and hero choices are all suspect going into this event. The X factor for them is going to be, will other teams figure out their warding? If they can get their Radiant play straight, and a possible surprise mid-Visage pick. I pulled the analysts who've joined me and a couple who couldn't to see what they thought. MVP is certainly a team without a consensus that could end up on either end of this event, with the median placing them in 5th/6th. Can MVP overcome their lack of experience and their issues on Radiant? Tune into MDL to find out. I'm Bonsai, and thanks for watching Breakdown. Let me know if you agree or disagree with our analysts with a comment here or on Twitter. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and subscribe. If you have any feedback for the show, you can comment here, tweet, or email me. Huge thanks to my partner Jonas, who created our graphics and helped produce this show. You can find his social media here as well. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.